I was so personally hurt by that because my shoulders weren't pinned. I kicked out.
I'm gonna you up.
Toni Storm, who's that? I didn't know who she was. Gene, get your mind out of the gutter. I'm just hoping someday she'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Belle. This is DS, and I'm here with the legend, the pioneer, Wendi Richter. Oh my God!
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
You're so kind.
Like my heart's beating because like true legend is here. Wow.
Let me check your pulse. Yeah, it's beating.
I wanted to meet you for a long time. But let's first start with the 1984. That was a historical moment when you ended the 28 years of Fabulous Moolah's reign.
Yeah, I think it was more than 28.
It was more than 28?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know exactly. Well, you know, she never would say how old she was. So who knows?
I thought the finish was so interesting because it was like a double pin situation.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, it's called a small package, and it was just spontaneous. I was shocked myself. It was meant to be.
Lately, I learned about how that was like MTV's highest rated segment in the history.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? It was truly a very, very popular segment.
Well, Cyndi Lauper is very popular.
Right.
And her song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, was my favorite song.
So that was already your favorite
She was my
song.
favorite artist and my favorite song
before you paired up with her.
before I paired up with her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a dream come true.
Did you request her or?
No, she requested me.
That's amazing.
I know, I was so honored. She could have picked anyone.
Did you understand how popular you were back in the days? I mean, obviously the ratings were there, right?
Well, I knew I was popular, but I didn't realize how much. Because at the time, Hulk Hogan was also very popular, and Sergeant Slaughter, Junkyard Dog. There was a lot of very popular wrestlers at that time.
What was Backstage talking about? Because obviously with the ratings and everything, you were showing that women's wrestling has commercial success possibility. But obviously from then to like 90s, we've seen like ups and downs with the women's wrestling, you know, champion belt being gone. Did you feel like the women's division was being treated seriously?
I do.
Okay.
I really do. I think it was really the first time that it had been treated seriously.
Yeah.
So I was honored that I could be there at that time. I was in the right place at the right time.
I mean, what was the conversation when you defeated Fabulous Moolah? I'm sure there was like a big plan for you.
Well, Cyndi Lauper at the time was my manager.
Right.
So we went to an after party celebrating that. And, you know, no one really told me where that was going.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of went with the flow.
Now WrestleMania is known as like this grand stage where they do like this grand entrances. But you are the start of it all because you came in with Cyndi Lauper with that uber popular song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I mean, you started it all. What do you think about that?
You know, I still love that song.
Yeah.
And sometimes when, you know, years later, I was still going out to the ring to that song. They knew that song.
Right.
They knew who was coming out when
That song is still
played.
popular, yeah.
Yeah, I think it always will be. It's fun.
Were you excited that you will have that special entrance?
Yes. Well, just having Cyndi Lauper, that's all I needed. After that, I became a household word.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping someday she'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, yeah.
In the celebrity division.
Yeah, why didn't that happen yet? That's weird.
It must be because she's busy.
Yeah, you're right.
But, I mean, she's done more for wrestling than any celebrity has.
Right.
So it has to be that it's just not good timing for her.
Right. I mean, you pioneer the grand WrestleMania entrance. But the other thing is, now all the top wrestlers, they do this thing where they go to Japan and train. But you'd done that back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long were you in Japan for?
They were 2-month tours at a time.
Okay.
I think 5 times in 2 years.
Wow.
2 months at a time. So half my career in the beginning was there.
And you were 18 when that happened?
Yeah.
How did you decide to make a move to Japan?
I was booked there, and then after the first time they requested me, and I told them, I said, don't request me so often because, you know, 2 months, and there, you're in the bus all day, and a lot of times, well, the truck stops. I couldn't believe it. It's unisex. I mean, you walk in the bathroom, and there's a long trough. Men are urinating in the urinals, and then the benjos on the right in the floor. So if someone's knee or back or hip hurt. I don't know what they did. But I was 18, I could do it. But I'm thinking, that can't be good for older people. And then the Japanese hotels, they had rice paper walls. I don't know if they still do.
Rice paper walls?
Yeah, they were paper. So you could just run your fist through them.
Yeah. No, my grandma was always upset because I poked through it.
I'm thinking, you know what? If some man pokes through my paper wall, there's going to be a fight on.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Were there any other foreigners that was in Japanese tour back then?
It was always another American woman, and then I think then they brought the Mexican women in, so it was two at a time. You know, another story in Japan.
Yeah.
We were on a big building. I guess it's a skyscraper, and it was at the top, the roof, in a Olympic-sized swimming pool. They set the ring up in an empty pool.
What?
Yes.
That's a cool match.
And it poured that night.
Oh my God.
So I walked out to the ring like I was doing the breaststroke, you know?
That's a cool gimmick.
Yeah.
So if you get thrown out of the ring, you go right into the pool?
Well, it was filling up from the rain.
Oh, for the ring.
You know, not deep. But
I like that idea. Maybe for like one of the SummerSlam, they should bring that up.
Yeah. In a pool.
Yeah,
but,
in the pool.
Yeah, that was unusual. But they set the ring up anywhere. We'd be out in just a field. And they have like the tarpaulin fence and set up the chairs in the ring.
Yeah.
They could set up anywhere.
You said you brought that Japanese style to America, right? But in America, it's more like a Fabulous Moolah style of wrestling, right? Was it very different from American style?
Yes. Yeah. American style, you grab a hold and you know, do a little bit and grab another hold. And over there, it was like a brawl. I'm telling you. Everything. And then the girl was doing, I think it was jiu-jitsu.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I learned quickly. I had to.
Yeah.
She kicked my butt. And after that first match, I said, I've got to change everything.
Wow.
And I did.
Do you remember who it was?
No, I don't. She was probably 18 too. I don't know.
Because they start really young.
They started like, I don't know, 15 or 16.
Yeah.
The champion was Jaguar Yokota when I was there, and then Mimi Hagiora. There was a lot of talented women there, and I learned a lot. You know, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, and it made me stronger.
Right. Now, there's a video that's still to this day talk about here and there. It's that interview with Mean Gene when he just started bursting into laughter. Do you remember that one?
Well, you had to tell me more. I don't know. That doesn't... You have it? You can show it
I think I do, yeah.
I'm not about to lay down on my back and let someone cover me.
He just broke character and started laughing.
Yeah. That's nice.
Do you remember that?
No, I did quite a few interviews.
I just thought it was really funny.
Gene, get your mind out of the gutter.
Right. You were serious.
Yeah. I was probably 21, 22.
Yeah. Recently with Vince McMahon now out of wrestling business, a lot of the stuff that he's done before is getting spotlighted again. Of course, one of them is original Screwjob. What do you think about this whole new interest in it?
You know, it just never has gone away. People still bring that up. I'm over it. After that happened, I got saved. I'm a born-again Christian.
Oh, okay,
and
got
I
it.
started going to college. Oh. So Vince actually did me a favor. Because I have a master's degree now. No one can take that away from me.
Okay.
But life isn't fair, and you got to move on.
Right. It's like engraved in people's mind because that face that you had, you were pissed.
You know what? That happened in Madison Square Garden. I was so upset. And it was cold. I think it was in November. I walked out of Madison Square Garden in my wrestling suit and my bag and went to the airport in my wrestling suit.
Oh my God.
And then after I checked in, I put my clothes on in the bathroom.
But you were so heated.
Yeah, I didn't even feel the cold. I was so personally hurt by that because my shoulders weren't pinned. I kicked out.
Right.
And they just... with my shoulders off the mat, and that was that.
But you know what Jesus had planned for you, and you have master's degrees in what? Is it?
Occupational therapy.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow.
So if that hadn't happened, I'd probably still be with the WWE.
Yeah.
Like Moolah did, you know, for decades.
You know, but I love that WWE finally recognized you with the Hall of Fame. All the recent documentary stuff, you're getting a lot of spotlight, so I'm so happy for that. But is there any other women during that time that you don't think get enough spotlight?
All of them.
All of them, yeah.
After I left, they brought out the the Glamour Girls.
Yeah.
Judy Martin and Leilani Kai against the Jumping Bomb Angels. But none of the girls were highlighted prior to that.
Right.
Except for Moolah, and I mean, she just looked bad. There's a time where you got to hang your boots up.
Yeah, I mean the tag team championship was reintroduced, so I was waiting for Jumping Bomb Angels to get their recognition, but hopefully, fingers crossed that will happen.
Yeah, I just saw them recently.
Yeah. They did an appearance recently, right? Yeah.
They were at the gathering in North Carolina. First time I met them.
Recently, your name has been buzzing so much.
Because I didn't do it.
AEW World Women's Champion Toni Storm has been calling you out over and over again for a match.
Wendi Richter. Wendi Richter? I'm gonna you up. I am going to you up.
And I didn't even know it. Someone said, "Are you going to wrestle Toni Storm?" I said, "Who's that?" I didn't know who she was. You know what? I would wrestle Mike Tyson. If they paid me enough, so I'll wrestle anybody.
Have you ever talked to Toni Storm or AEW after that? Never. Tony!
Yeah.
And both Tonys. Get
I
in
challenge
touch.
you, Tony.
Yes.
For $20 million. I'll do it.
Amazing.
Yeah, someone told me, she's very talented, but she doesn't need to drop the F-bomb all the time.
Oh.
It's a family sport. She doesn't need to drop the F-bomb all the time.
Right. I don't think AEW really cares that much about it, but they have other audience who's a little edgier. Edgier is what they were going for. Thank you so much for this interview.
Well, it doesn't even feel like an interview.
Yeah, we were just talking.
I know.
Talking about eating rice and rice paper.
Yep. And minnows.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to tell the wrestling fans, the women's wrestling fans? Because, like me, they're diehard women's wrestling fans that's been rooting for you, rooting for all the women. What do you want to tell them?
Go to college first and get an education and then wrestle. You can wrestle while you're going to school, but you need to have something to fall back on because if you get injured, nobody wants you. If they don't want you, they just take the belt from you. So you need to go to school. And have something to fall back on.
That's for the women's wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about for the wrestling fans?
Oh, fans. You need to go to school too. I think everyone should. Even if it's trade school.
Yeah.
There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't thank the Lord that I've got an education.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of all the women's wrestling fans, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
For pioneering, trailing, blazing the trail.
And you know what? You wrestling fans, you make a difference. I was telling him that my first match in Japan, the girl knocked the breath out of me 6 times during the match.
Right.
And the referee kept saying, "Are you okay, Wendi?" I couldn't even speak. All I could go was, "Ugh." And it was terrible. But hearing the fans, but they hated me over there. But hearing them hate me, it made me want to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
They hated everyone that wasn't Japanese over there.
Okay.
Because I was fighting their person. So now if they came here, they would hate them.
Wow, you were a big heel back then.
I know.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and one time I got thrown out of the ring, and the man ringside, when I was falling out, kneed me in the ribs, broke my ribs. I'm thinking, you too? I've got to wrestle her and you. And in America, having them root for you or boo, either one.
Right.
It makes you want to, when they're booing, you want to prove them wrong.
Right.
And when they're cheering for you, you want to win even harder because it's hard. I mean, it hurts to wrestle.
Yeah.
It's painful.
Yeah.
And to hear the fans makes all the difference.